Town board meeting at 7 p.m. On the 15th of July. 15th? 18th of July. 16th of July. To order, will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone of the ground rules for town hall meetings. Note the fire exits in case of an emergency. Calmly and quickly walk to the exits. Do not run. Do not use the elevators. The restrooms are located to my right in the hallway. We will follow the order of the agenda. The agenda is located on the table near the entrance. I would like to remind everyone of the ground rules for public input as outlined by our town code. The public is reminded that when a person speaks during this portion, that this is a presenter's opinion only. It is up to you, the individual, to learn, discover, and determine the facts, no matter how convincing the speaker is or is not. An educated public is essential to our democracy. The town board welcomes public input and reserves time at every meeting for this purpose. When it's your turn to speak, please step up to the lectern, speak into the mic, and clearly give your name and address. The meetings are recorded and broadcast on our town's website and social media channels and platforms. It's important to speak into the mic so the viewers at home may hear you. Each speaker has 3 minutes to address comments to the town board, staff, department heads. It's up to the board to grant an extension if needed. I'll ask that Madam Clerk to keep the time. There is zero tolerance for personal attacks on town staff, town officials, any members of the audience, any persons having a matter before the board. All speakers must be respectful and conduct themselves appropriately. If a speaker does not meet these expectations, their time to speak will be immediately terminated. Please understand that the public input period is not designed to be a discussion, and the board would not respond directly to anything stated. Please address all questions and comments to the town supervisor. I will advise each speaker when their time is concluded. Special presentations are sometimes required to inform the town. The presenter will appear as a guest of the supervisor and or the town board. They facilitate education of the town and the board on specific topics. The supervisor and the board reserves the right to determine the time needed for the presentation on a case-to-case basis. Madam Clerk, please read the roll.
Supervisor Evans.
Here.
Councilwoman Cunningham.
Here.
Councilman Malone.
Present.
Councilman Perticone.
Here.
Councilman Weiner. Attorney for the town.
Here.
Okay, before we begin, I want to address the process I followed to assess the tax assessor's issue and why. Fairness is the cornerstone of this administration. I took the steps I will describe and employ the resources I did because I wanted to ensure that all this was done fairly and unbiased. To do so, no one involved in the tax assessor's process for hiring or their evaluation of their taxes was employed to look at this situation. Over the past 2+ months, we've heard from a few constituents that made accusations against the tax advisor. This administration takes these and all complaints extremely seriously. Prior to any public comments made about this situation, I commissioned several independent investigations. I wanted to assure the public that not seeing or hearing about confidential investigations does not mean nothing was being done. Earlier, I released a statement, and I will now add that to the record by reading it in. On or about February 26, 2024, Anthony Costanza was appointed as the new assessor for the town of Irondequoit. It was known and addressed at the time that Mr. Costanza went through the legal process of grieving his home assessment in 2023. After gaining employment with the town, Mr. Costanza went through the steps to again grieve his home assessment for 2024, as all town residents have the right to do. Given his role as town assessor, Mr. Costanza consulted with his tax peers and worked with them to officially review his assessment. Ultimately, Mr. Costanza's assessed value was lowered from $200,000 to $170,000. Separately, it has also become public that Mr. Costanza's taxes were lower in 2024 than they were in 2023. Upon learning of these actions taken place by Mr. Costanza, Supervisor Evans immediately contacted the New York State Inspector General and the town's independent auditor to request an independent investigation and review the situation to ensure transparency and fairness in the process. The investigations have concluded that no illegal or unethical activity has transpired, given the steps Mr. Costanza took to have his assessment reviewed and the parameters he adhered to during the process. The State Inspector General and the town auditor declined to take action on the matter. Additionally, as an Air Force veteran, Mr. Costanza is entitled to the Veterans and VA disability status that provides a small benefit to the heroes who have fought for our country. Mr. Costanza applied for this status in October 2022, and due to the standard processing time, the benefit did not take effect until 2024. The investigation concluded that there is no evidence of Mr. Costanza using his position to lower his own taxes. The town of Irondequoit takes these matters incredibly seriously, and we are grateful to those who provided clarity and counsel during the investigation. While the review showed no evidence of illegal or unethical activity, we recognize that there exists many gray areas in our ethics policy. To ensure clarity and consistency going forward, Supervisor Evans is mandating ethics training for Mr. Costanza. I referred this case to the that ends my statement. I referred this case to an independent auditor and the New York State Tax Inspector General. Both agencies declined to act. So we need a little interpretation for the viewing public or those not familiar with the language of investigations. When there is an investigation and there are no findings of wrongdoing, or the cause of the investigation is unsubstantiated, the language used by the investigating agency will be to remain silent or simply say, "We decline to act." In summary, there are several questions that the members of the public ask, and please bear with me while I attempt to address each. First, did the tax assessor lower his own taxes? No. He adjusted his assessment within the limits of an independent appraiser. He sought advice from peer assessors and New York State, and this action was within his administrative and his ministerial job duties. Was it proper to do so? Yes. He is the tax assessor and he lives in the town. However, to avoid any future perceptions of wrongdoing, I'm currently writing new ethics rules that clarifies, simplifies, and place strict limits on the town employees to add in safeguards, get rid of the shades of gray that may exist when performing our duties. Hopefully, this will eliminate those events where the perception of an action can be perceived as wrongdoing. The intent is to clearly state when to involve an independent third party in the performance of our duty. The tax assessor do not lower or raise taxes. They only assess the value of real property according to New York State real property tax law. This assessment is only one part of a resident's bill. The next question that was asked was, did lowering his tax assessment result in his 2024 lower tax bill? No. The tax assessor is a combat veteran. Our town gives a benefit to combat vets, disabled vets, and service members. The change in his taxes is due to him applying for the benefit in 2022. It should, for the reasons, however, it kicked in 2024. Therefore, the lower tax bill that some are reacting to, that shows on the tentative and final rows, are due to his service as a combat veteran and the application of his veteran's disability rating as a result of his combat service. Did the tax assessor ignore the 2023 SCAR ruling? No. Every resident has a right to go to the bar for real property tax relief, then to a SCAR if not satisfied with the bar. However, in May, every year there's a new grieving process that starts. So if you're not satisfied and there's no judgment, you can go back the following year through the same process. Losing at the bar or the SCAR in 1 year does not prevent one from returning the following year for relief unless otherwise ordered by judgment. This is every citizen's right. I want to thank everyone who planned and put up a great 4th of July parade and celebration. And for now, other news. This month, on July 31st, the Supervisors Diversity Book Club were discussing Disability and Visibility by Alice Wong. It is a very well-written book and easy to read. The Supervisors Book Club is a way to learn about others and then find solutions to help our neighbors or to understand each other better. It is a way to make our town more welcoming by bringing us closer together. The town of Arundequoit will be marching in the Rochester Pride Parade on Saturday at 10:30 at Holland Park. Please come out and join us. And finally, I can't believe I'm doing this, but on Sunday, July 21st, Aaron and Kelly Metris, the new owners of the Market at I Square, has talked me into dipping my toe in the water for a fundraiser. So if you want to sink into a great cause, join myself, Legislator David Long, Superintendent Aaron Johnson, and Mike Nolan and others who will go deep in the tank to raise money for Special Olympics. We have a lot to get to tonight. We have one public hearing scheduled for tonight at 7:35 concerning amendments to the town's flood damage prevention law. Sign-in sheets are available at the desk, but if you don't sign in, you can still address the board during the public hearings.
Supervisor, can I make some comments on your assessment on the assessor, please?
Yes, you have the floor.
Okay, I have the floor. First of all, we have nothing in writing from the Inspector General, the auditor, correct?
As I stated, nothing in writing is provided.
Okay.
You get a statement that says they declined to act, or you would get absolutely nothing. It sounds it was a favor to give me the statement, we declined to act.
So nothing, they don't act on anything, so they didn't act at all on the ethics of this issue, correct?
Correct.
All right, so I am calling for an independent ethics investigation with an outside entity to a partisan committee, and I want to see written findings on this. What the attorney...
If it's partisan, it can't be
Wait a minute, what the
independent.
Inspector General and the auditor told us has nothing to do with ethics. This has to do with ethics. And we've been stating that since day one. It's an ethics issue. And we need an independent, someone to look at this, and I want someone to do this, and I want to see the findings in writing to this board. That's what I'm calling for. Because Bonadeo is an auditor. That's all they're doing. They're auditing. But no one, no one's going to comment on the ethics. So let's get somebody to do an independent ethics, because this is an issue with ethics, period. Okay? And our ethics, according to our town code, no municipal officer, employee, or local elected officer or employee shall use his or her municipal position or officer powers and duties to secure a financial benefit to him or herself.
Okay, define the financial
I
benefit.
believe that's not the case.
A belief isn't a definition. Define the benefit. If you can't define,
Yeah, he
the
reduced his
bill,
own- he reduced
the
his
bill has
own-
not even been produced
I
yet.
want an audit.
The bill is
We
in
need an
2025.
ethics audit. We need an ethics audit. That's what we need in writing, and I want someone to go through this and look at it with different eyes. The Inspector General and Auditor means nothing to me. The findings they found means nothing to me. I say we do it, that's what I want, and I think we need that done ASAP, because the findings you said there, I don't believe everything that was said, and I'm not accepting that determination that nothing was unethical, wrong, or anything. I'm sorry, it's wrong.
That is your right.
Yeah, it is my
Not to
right.
believe.
So are we gonna do an independent ethics audit and have an outside counsel come in and do it?
As long as it is absolutely independent.
It has to
And
be. I
they're
don't want
not-
any town member, I don't want our ethics committee to do it, not the town's ethics committee. We need someone from outside to come in and look at it. Again, the Inspector General and Auditor mean nothing.
Can I ask why you think that means nothing?
Because they didn't answer anything about our ethics, and nothing about our ethics. It has nothing to do with ethics, okay?
But
We have a code here. I believe it went against it, and I think we need someone to address the ethics issue in hand. That's it. That's what I'm saying. Nobody said he did anything illegal and he's got to go to jail. That's not the issue at hand. It's an ethics issue. It's been that since day one.
Okay, define the ethics issue.
that's what define ethics if.
Right here it says it. I just read it.
John, I understand that.
He made a financial benefit to himself.
Define the financial benefit.
He reduced his own assessment. Went in there and reduced it. That's what he did. That's what we were told from day one.
Okay, John,
Yeah.
an ethics conflict would be, let me describe an ethics conflict. I'm a member of a board, all right? I refuse to vote on anything dealing with the board that I serve, a nonprofit board I serve on. Another member who serves on the board votes for something that the town board is acting on. According to our ethics code, both situations are correct. Secondly, an ethics violation in this case would be the tax assessor raises his taxes above his appraised value and then sells his home. That's illegal. Or a tax assessor lowers his home value below the appraised value to get a lower tax rate. As long as the tax assessor stays within the appraised value, then they are not acting unethical. He's within the law. He's within an independent appraiser. He has not received any tax benefit outside. He has not violated his administrative duty or his ministerial duties, as he's within an independent appraisal of what that property is. So he didn't raise his taxes above the value of his home and then sell it to receive a benefit. He didn't lower his taxes below a certain appraised value so he can receive lower taxes. In fact, that tax bill has not even been published yet, so we don't know what the financial outcome is.
Are we going to do an independent ethics study on this situation or not? I'm calling for one, and I want something in writing, and this will clear up all this. I need more than what the Inspector General and the Auditor told us. I'm calling for
So,
an independent.
how is what the supervisor asked for not, not how is that not independent?
Because it's not an ethics committee. I want someone to look at our ethics and go over it and investigate it. That's what I'm looking for, period. It's that simple. It's that simple. I don't.
That's what the supervisor
I'm just
did,
calling, are we
John.
going to do an ethics committee or not? Do you agree to it or not?
I
Agree to one or not?
John, I believe that the supervisor obtained that information.
Okay, I don't believe it, okay? That's why I want someone to look at our ethics, outside information.
So if the supervisor got that information in writing, would that,
No, I want different investigation. We need a different investigation.
by who?
I don't know, we'll find out who. I don't know who it'll be. We'll find out who it'll be.
But
Not our ethics committee, not at the town,
I
somebody
understand
else.
that. I
We could
understand
find
that.
somebody to do it and go through the whole process and find out, was it done unethically or not? Again, the Inspector General and our Bonadio does not suffice for me. I want an outside ethics. Are we gonna have one or not?
If I could, I gotta agree with Councilman Perticone that I don't think it would hurt to have an outside entity look at this issue for clarity. Number two, my question, I guess, to the supervisor is, when our assessor applied for the SCAR hearing, the amount he applied for in the reduction, is that the same amount that he got in the veterans, discount? That's what I'd like to know. Let's talk about the numbers here. Are the numbers match what he requested when he,
Wait, hold on. The veterans discount has zero to do with the value of a home. We're talking about two different things.
Well-
First you have to understand how government works in order to speak on government. We assess taxes. There's school taxes, there's property taxes, there's special interest taxes like the fire, water, etc. They give a value. Certain entities, like the town, says that if you're a 10% disabled veteran, 25% disabled veteran, 100% disabled veteran, we will give you a discount on your taxes. That has nothing to do with what your property is valued at other than the final tax bill.
100%.
Okay, so you're mixing two different
Well,
things right now.
you can look at it that
So-
way, Andre, but my
so-
point is-
Well, wait, no, there's only one way to look at it, is that you know tax law or you don't. You're telling me right now you don't.
No, at the end
Because the
of the day-
value of the veterans benefit has nothing to do with the how the property is assessed.
But at the end of the day, Andre, I guess the way I look at it is, it's money in this individual's pocket, and I want to know the difference between what he was applying for with the SCARs versus what he got from the veterans. I think that's a valid question.
It's not a valid
At the end of the
question.
day, what
What
he's assessed
you're-
on is what he's going to pay
let-
taxes
Let me
on.
tell you what you're asking for. You're asking for is the value of what he applied for on this SCAR
Correct.
the same as the value he received
That's-
under the bar.
Correct.
That has nothing to do with veterans. Please, let's not mix it.
Well, again, to me, it's money in his pocket that he'd have to pay at the end of the year, and that's a benefit to himself.
Okay, so we're talking about the difference of the 2023 bar and the 2024 assessed value.
Correct.
Not the veterans benefit.
Are we gonna do an ethics investigation? I'm calling for an ethics investigation on this matter. And I want the findings in writing. That's what I'm calling for. We have to do an outside entity. I don't know who. Council can help us. Tracy can help us with that. I'm certainly sure she can. And get it ASAP.
If we do an independent investigation, I recommend that we use an independent law firm in order to choose that.
I wouldn't
that
ask for
investigator.
anything but. I wouldn't ask for anything else.
So
Completely.
therefore, we will
completely-
leave the law firm totally out of this. and
Totally.
we'll
That's
we'll
what,
hire-
an independent. I don't want
independent
anybody
law
tied to
firm.
the town at all. No one tied to the town at all.
So we have a motion for an independent investigator. Can I have a motion?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, nay.
Nay.
Two.
Unbelievable. Sad. Very sad. Very sad. That's all I gotta say. So let's get, so this is behind us now, right? It's over?
John, with all due respect.
Yeah, no, there's no all due respect, Ann.
with all due respect, John, I voted the way I did.
Yeah, I
because
know you did, but we've been talking about this for how long now? And now this is okay, what we heard tonight, that's all
Yes,
right.
John, you want to do a knee-jerk reaction, and I took 2 months to investigate this and spoke to many, many people.
Yeah, many people, and nothing came up. Was it against the ethics? There's nothing in any report that I see, anything at all says anything about ethics. Nothing, not a word. And that's what this has been about since day one. Since day one. Can we move on now?
We can move on.
You laugh? What's so funny? You got a joke back there?
Supervisor, Councilman, please address or your comments to the President of the Board.
I'm done.
Thank
I
you.
spoke my mind.
Thank you very much. We now have, we're now moving into public input. How many, let's see how many people have signed up. Thank you.
I think I go first. I go first.
Whatever.
I go first. I have to.
We have Gail Keating.
Yes, I have to. Thank you very much. Okay, I'd like to address the board to please reconsider implementing zoning ordinances.
May I ask that you state your address, name,
Oh,
and
sure.
full name and address?
Gail Keating of 202 Nob Hill, and that's here. Okay, so zoning ordinances, that's really what I've come to ask you please to consider. When I moved here 25 years ago, this town was really beautiful, and there's a lot of areas and streets now that are really looking shabby. And part of that is the ordinances have changed, the zoning. Right now, we have equipment, we have trailers, and I also have pictures for you on my street, for example. We have all sorts of that stuff, and my street used to be beautiful, and there's other streets like mine where there's all this equipment and everything. It looks really, really bad. I mean, even, Malik Evans now in the city is planting all these trees and everything. He's trying to make his town, city look good. So I hope you don't mind, you can have these pictures. We have a couple, may I approach the
Yes, ma'am,
cord?
you may.
Yeah, okay. We have a couple of, if you can see, there's fences in the front, and you can pass these around, and here's some of the equipment.
You can just leave the pictures and they'll pass around, because we can't hear you. The people at home can't hear you, ma'am. Can you go back to the mic? Just give her the pictures
Sure.
and then,
There's a couple of ghost houses here, and I put them, the addresses on them, and they actually have equipment or trailers right in the driveway. So, and
ma'am, you need to be at the mic, can you, because we have people at home,
Oh,
and they
okay.
can't hear you if you're not at the mic.
Yeah, so there's a couple of ghost houses that have either equipment or trailers in the driveway. So, and I'm sure, this is going on around Arundequoit. So anything that we can do to make our town and our neighborhoods more beautiful for our neighbors, because it does affect yours, mine, all of our, evaluations in our houses and our assessments, and it looks bad. So we used to have, I know not that long ago, people had to get their trailers out of the yards and out of their driveways by, November? And that seems to be gone. I don't know why. That was the very least we could have done. So I would, if you could please consider that. And that's really about it. So I hate to see our town in any way or any of our streets deteriorate, and this will add to kind of a shabby, deteriorating look. So that's it, and I thank you very much, and I hope you guys consider that. And unfortunately, I gotta go.
Thank you.
So, thanks. Have a good night.
The next speaker is Ms. Marcia Enright. Please state your name and address.
My name is Marcia Wright. I live at 75 Clay Avenue. Again, I don't live in Arundecoit, but my entire family does. So I need to understand. I buy a house in Arundecoit. I close on that home at the county clerk's office, who then notifies you that I am the new owner, how much I paid for the property, and they also give you an address where you should mail the tax bill. That tax bill may go to my lawyer's office, not to my home address. The county clerk's office does not ask me what I'm going to do with that home. I've never heard of a county clerk, including Monroe County Clerk, never asks, what are you going to do with this property? So now, I bought this house in Arundecoit, and I'm running a short-term rental, unregistered with the county and unregistered with you. I don't have a sales tax number either. The vendors that rent these properties out, they don't ask you to prove this information. You don't have to mail anything or electronically send them anything to prove it. So what's the town's consequence for all of this? When the neighbors have to become your real estate police because they're the ones that are notifying you, oh, my new neighbor is running an Airbnb over there. So your residents are becoming your real estate police. What measures does the town plan on taking to police these issues? The people that live here are tired of buying a home, and then they find out that they've purchased a home next door to nothing short of a motel without their knowledge. They have no desire to become the town's real estate police. Rental 28 days or less just shouldn't be allowed. You cannot ask these people to continue to put up with this kind of disruption at their homes where their children have to get up and go to school. You have to get up and go to work. It is a constant problem. I've been here every month for almost a year. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Well, that concludes our public input period. Madam Controller, we have a financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The 2024 financial results as of June 30th. The town's total expenses of $23,034,000 represent 54.5% of budget and are slightly higher than the 50% of the year that has elapsed. Of the total expense, $20,698,000 are actual expenses, equating to 48.9% of budget, while encumbrances of $2,336,000 make up the remaining 5.5%. Encumbrances represent commitments for services, supplies, and commodities that will be needed during the year. The general fund expenses are above budget at 59%, or $15,806,000. Actual expenditures are 55.6% of budget, or $14,894,000. The remaining 3.4% is due to encumbrances of $911,000. Collectively, the highway expenses total $3,004,000 and are lower than the 50% of the year that has elapsed at 48.3%. Actual expenses within the highway funds are 31.1% of budget, or $1,935,000, while encumbrances of $1,069,000 account for the remaining 17%. Encumbrances within the highway funds include paving materials and services, oil and stoning materials, fuel, and surface treatment. Expenses in the library fund are lower than budget at $1,380,000, or 48.3%. Expenses and bond payments of $400,000.
Madam Controller, we have a public hearing now. I see that is now 7:35, and Madam Clerk, could you please call the public hearing?
Item number 1, on the matter of a local law amending Chapter 136 of Town Code to conform with the New York State DEC requirements.
Motion to open the public hearing.
I'll approve it.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The hearing is now open. Could the Director of Community Development or the Attorney of the town please provide an explanation?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This is a public hearing to discuss the changes to Town Code Article 136, which talks about the flood prevention, flood damage prevention. This is the opportunity for the public to be heard prior to the town considering a resolution that would change that law.
We will now accept public comment. Do we have anyone sign up to testify? Does anyone else want to speak on this issue? I note for the record that the proposed law was referred to the Marin County Planning Board for comment as of today. Have we received their comments?
The only comment we got back from the county was that they acknowledged the receipt of it, and if they had questions or comments, they would forward them to us. That was approximately a week and a half ago, of which we've received no response.
I will now open up for discussion. Do you have any discussions or questions from the board? I will now take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved?
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right?
Aye. All opposed? The hearing is now closed. Madam Clerk, could you now move on to the public hearing item for board action?
Resolution adopting a local law amending Chapter 136 of Town Code to conform with the New York State DEC requirements.
Motion.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
Any explanation? Any additional explanations?
Yeah, the only additional explanation I'll offer is this does affect people's flood insurance that's offered through the program, so any non-adoption of this resolution would cancel those policies effective July 31st.
That's helpful to know, thank you.
Any discussions or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Controller?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Continuing on, expenditures in the library fund are lower than budget at $1,380,000 or 48.3%. Included in the expenses is a serial bond payment of $485,000 for the library facility. The sewer fund expenses of $1,941,000 are at 47.3% of budget. Actual expenses equate to 40% of budget, or $1,640,000, while encumbrances of $302,000 account for the remaining 7.3%. Expenses in the stormwater drainage are approximately 31.8% of budget, a total of $299,000. Actual expenses are $252,000, or 26.8%, while encumbrances account for 5%. Actual expenditures excluding encumbrances are below the 50% of the year that has elapsed. Actual townwide expenses represent 48.9% of budget, and actual expenses for the Consolidated Highway Fund are 31.1%. The sewer fund is 40%. The general fund actual expenses are over the percent of the year that has elapsed, but include the streetlight purchase of $2,623,000 finalized earlier this year. Without this expenditure, the general fund expenses are $12,272,000, or 45.8% of budget. The general fund has received revenue of $17,004,000, or 63.9% of budget. At the end of June, 100% of real estate tax, or $12,790,000, has been collected. 102% of payment in lieu of tax revenue is in. An additional $25,000 is due in October. 2 months of sales tax totaling $1,047,000 or 15.6% has been received to date. Other major revenue sources such as franchise cable fees, mortgage tax, and AIM payments are due later in the year. The total town revenue and appropriated fund balance for the first half of the year equate to $30,089,000 or 72.2%. Real estate taxes across the funds are $19,279,000. At month end, the library has recorded revenue of $2,787,000 or 97.9%. 83.5% or $5,043,000 of revenue has been verified by the highway funds. The sewer fund has documented $3,793,000 or 98.7%. Stormwater drainage has received 100% of its budgeted revenue at $946,000. Page 3 of the financial report presents the second quarter year-to-date summary in comparison to the prior 6 years. Regarding expenditures by fund, which are included on the top third of the page, the percent of total budget spent and encumbered is 54.5%, which is slightly higher than previous years. The middle third of the page contains the relevant sources of revenue for the general fund, and the bottom third of the page are year-to-date revenue comparisons of the other funds, with the last line reflecting the total collective revenue and fund balance for the town. The 2024 general fund revenue of 63.9% is on par with prior years, as is the townwide revenue of 72.2%. Fluctuations occur year to year due to timing of cash receipts. The town has received their full allocation of American Rescue Funds totaling $22,455,000. The use of this funding is restricted for the response to and relief of COVID-19 and must be allocated no later than December 31st, 2024, and expended by December 31st, 2026. To date, approximately $21,800,000 or 97.3% has been allocated to projects. Roughly $13,725,000 or 61.1% has been expended to date, and an additional $683,000 is encumbered for various projects. This concludes the financial report for the month of June 2024.
Thank you, Madam Controller. Now we move on to, we have some minutes to approve. Madam Clerk, before you begin,
We need a motion.
I'm sorry.
For the financial
I
report.
have a motion to accept the financial report, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I'll
Second.
second it. Oh,
all in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? The financial report is accepted. Madam Clerk, before you begin, I have a email that was sent to me from Maria Vecchio, AKA Maria Nikita, and I'd just like to add that to record on her request. Madam Clerk, we have some minutes to read. Please read the minutes from June 10th, 2024 workshop meeting.
Approval of June 10th, 2024 workshop board meeting.
May I get a motion to approve the June 10, 2024 minutes?
Moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments, or revisions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? The minutes are approved. Madam Clerk, please read the minutes from June 18th, 2024.
Approval of June 18th, 2024 regular town board meeting to include the email sent from Maria Vecchio as an amendment.
May I get a motion to approve the June 18th?
Everything that's on here, correct? Right? Right, okay.
It's a different email.
Yeah, there's
The one I handed out earlier?
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
No, that was from.
Okay, the email you're talking about, right?
Is,
Let me see, this is what we're putting in the minutes?
yes.
Okay.
I've got two here, yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
Make sure I have the right one. I just have the one email.
Yes, sorry, Wes.
Okay, yeah, okay,
She has that one.
okay.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? The minutes are approved. We have several items for board action. Madam Clerk?
Sorry, Mr. Supervisor, I just wanted to jump in there to clarify whether the minutes are approved as amended or not.
I'm sorry, minutes are approved as amended. Thank you very much.
Okay, and just to clarify for the vote, to have a motion for the minutes to be approved as amended,
Okay,
if the board wishes to read.
I'll do it. Thank you very much. Let's do this over again. May I get a motion to approve the June 18th, 2024 minutes as amended?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes are approved. Thank you, Madam Attorney. We have several items for board action this afternoon. Madam Clerk, can you read the first item?
Item number 1 under appointments, authorizing the provisional appointment of a building inspector in the Department of Community Development.
Mr. Director?
We need a motion first.
Sorry. Motion to adopt?
I'll move it.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Director?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution would authorize a provisional appointment of Building Inspector Zach Reynolds. Due to a resignation, we needed to hire a building inspector in the Department of Community Development. Civil service list was canvassed, declared unviable due to lack of interest. We did post it open competitive, and Mr. Reynolds did apply. The interview committee recommends his hire provisionally upon successful passing of the next civil service test. Mr. Reynolds comes to us with extensive building trades and home inspection experience, as well as being a veteran of the United States Army.
Any questions or comments? With that, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 2, authorizing the provisional appointment of a building maintenance foreman in the Arundecoit Public Works Department.
Motion to adopt?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll move it. Second.
Can I have an explanation? Madam Commissioner?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution would appoint Mr. Orlando Santos to the position of Building Maintenance Foreman. He comes to us from the city of Rochester and has an extensive background in construction and building facilities, and we're very excited to bring him on board into this position.
Any questions or comments? With that, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Congratulations to those new hires.
Congratulations.
Item number 3, authorizing the provisional appointment of a custodian in the Building Maintenance Department.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Can I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution would appoint Rachel Miller to the position of custodian in the same building maintenance department. This position would float between the many town facilities, keeping them, clean and tidy within our, first appearance into our town building. So we're excited to also bring on Rachel.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, with that, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 4, authorizing the appointment of a deputy town clerk.
Madam Clerk or Madam Attorney? I'm sorry. Motion to adopt?
I'll move it.
Can I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation? Madam Attorney or Madam Clerk?
So this would authorize Sharita Youngis to step in my absence on August 12th. I will be out of town, so she will step in for all duties as a town clerk, a deputy town clerk.
Any questions or comments?
I can just add one comment to that. There currently is not a deputy town clerk in this position, and that's why there needs to be an appointment in the Madam Clerk's absence. And this would just be for that day, which a workshop is scheduled for that date on the 12th.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
And just as a clarifying question, anytime our town clerk is off, until we find a deputy, town clerk, then we need to do these resolutions.
That's correct. Until the town clerk recommends a deputy for appointment.
Sure.
There need to be somebody who's in that role because
Okay.
it's a statutorily created role.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam
Yep.
Clerk, next item.
Item number 5, authorizing the appointment of a Conservation Board member.
Motion to adopt.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This would authorize the appointment of a Conservation Board member, of which we have 3 vacancies currently. We did post this for interest. We did receive limited feedback from that. One of those was a Miss Katie Jackal, who was interested. An interview committee was comprised of myself, the Planning and Zoning Coordinator, the Town Engineer, as is pretty standard with these vacancies. We received a favorable recommendation from each person. She does have extensive experience with DEC, which will be helpful in this role, as well as with the Verizon Wireless Telecommunications. So,
Any questions or comments?
Just that I appreciate the process. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 6, appointing new members to the Climate Smart Task Force.
Motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second.
Second?
The Climate Smart Task Force is being reconstituted and also giving additional duties to look at how to make our town more sustainable and also more environmentally friendly, with the goal of first goal of achieving silver, according to the Climate Smart Communities pledge, and then going beyond, looking at how we can better our town. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 7, authorizing a settlement agreement with Rite Aid number 4894 Came in Arundecoit LLC.
Motion to adopt.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Supervisor, this resolution seeks town board authorization to settle Article 7 litigation between the assessor/town of Arundecoit and Rite Aid Store 4894. This settlement is recommended using current market data by both special counsel and I. The 2023 assessed value is $2.8 million. The proposed settlement value is $2.7 million. This settlement will affect tax years 2023 through 2026. Anticipated refunds due to Rite Aid for the 2023 tax year based on this settlement is estimated to be $650. Over.
Any questions or comments?
I'm not going to be supporting any of these because of the settlement's supposed to come to the town board before there's a settlement authorization, so the protocol wasn't followed correctly. So I'll be voting in not support of any of these 3.
How do you propose fixing that, Mr. Pericone?
Well, we're supposed to see this before the settlement, but it's got to come to the town board before an Article 7 comes to the town board first. These are already settled. There shouldn't be a settlement yet until the town board sees them. It's supposed to come to us first. Article 7's come to town board. He says town board authorization. Yeah, we didn't authorize these till now. They're supposed to get authorized before our resolution comes forward. The protocol wasn't followed correctly.
Madam Attorney?
I just wanted to speak to 2 points that Councilman Perticone brought up. The town board as a body has the ability to authorize a settlement agreement for these types of cases. The town board also has the ability to ratify agreements to the extent they already were entered into, which, as he pointed out, this agreement has already been entered into. The effect of not approving the agreement at this point would be that the settlement agreement is void and the town could renegotiate it should they want to.
I'm not sure at this point that entering into renegotiation would change this. John, I understand your point, and we did talk about moving forward, that any proposed settlements need to come to the town board. We have talked about that. So I might suggest that we move forward with these, knowing that the process needs to be followed in the future.
I'm only one vote though, right? So I can vote no on the settlement, can't I? Or does it need to be?
Nick, you can vote, I think,
You can
any
always
way
vote
that you
no,
want.
John.
Pardon me?
You can always vote no,
I am.
correct? Yeah.
I know, that's what I said. I'm not supporting the
If I
Okay.
could, I guess the question at hand here is it advantageous to back up and reassess these properties is what I'm hearing, correct? And renegotiate the settlement, correct?
I'm just saying the proper procedure wasn't followed, that's
Okay.
all I'm saying. So I'm not gonna support them because the proper procedure wasn't followed, that's all. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
Okay. Any other further questions or comments? With that, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed?
Opposed.
The resolution is adopted. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Authorizing a settlement agreement with Walgreens Eastern Company Incorporated, 700 Ridge Road.
Motion to adopt.
I'll move it.
Second. I'll second it. May I have an explanation?
This resolution seeks town board authorization to settle Article 7 litigation between the assessor/town of Arundecoit and Walgreens 700 Ridge Road. This settlement is recommended using current market data by both special counsel and I. The 2023 and 2024 assessed value was $6.95 million. The proposed settlement value is $4.7 million. This settlement will affect tax years 2024 through 2027. There are no refunds due by the town to Walgreens for the 2023 tax year. Over.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Opposed.
The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 9, authorizing a settlement agreement with HD Development of Maryland Company, Home Depot, number 1273.
Motion to adopt.
Move it.
Second.
Second.
May I have an explanation?
This resolution seeks town board authorization to settle Article 7 litigation between the assessor/town of Arundecoit and Home Depot store number 1273. The settlement is recommended using current market data by both special counsel and I. The 2023 assessed value was $7.1 million. The proposed settlement value is $6.887 million. This settlement will affect tax years 2023 through 2026. Anticipated refunds due by the town to Home Depot for the 2023 tax year based on this settlement is estimated to be $1,365. Over.
Any questions or comments?
Just that I want to acknowledge John's concerns, and that moving forward, that this does come before the board for discussion.
And I'd like to comment on that along with Ann. These are reductions. And in the environment we're in today, I find it a little surprising that we're having this discussion, but I want to comment on Ann. As long as we're going to move in the proper fashion forward, let's solidify that process and do it right.
And again, I'm only commenting on the process and not whether the assessments went down.
Well, I have to comment on the process. There was a new administration that came in, there was a group of litigation that we didn't know existed, and the litigators continued the process, and a new tax assessor was hired, and we found out after the fact that these litigations were sliding into home. There were some errors made on our part as far as the process. That process has been identified. The process has been corrected. The valuations have been reviewed by our council in this case and approved by the council as the best interest of the town. So whether it's an increase or a reduction, as well as errors, have been identified in our tax process and corrected. So with that,
Just thank you for that. Thank you for that explanation. I appreciate that.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Opposed.
The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, read the next item.
Item number 10, regarding State Environmental Quality Review Act compliance in the matter of rezoning application for 41 Lorraine Drive, tax ID 076.15-6-45 from R-1 Residential District to MUC Mixed Use Commercial District.
Motion to adopt.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
Could I get an explanation?
Yeah, this is relative to the rezoning of 41 Lorraine Drive. This is required by the State Environmental Quality Review Act, and this would be a negative declaration by the town board indicating that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts.
Any questions or comments? With that, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 11, approving an application on the matter of rezoning 41 Lorraine Drive, tax ID 076.15-6-45 from R-1 Residential District to MUC Mixed Use Commercial District.
Mr. Director, may I have an explanation? I'm sorry, correction. Motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
Mr. Director, may I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you. This would rezone 41 Lorraine Drive from an R1 residential to mixed-use commercial, which would align with the number of other properties in the area, including the adjacent properties. As mentioned in the resolution for the seeker, they would need to go before planning board to make changes to the properties.
Any questions or comments? With that, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 12, authorizing the demolition and removal of an unsafe building.
Motion to adopt.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
May I have an explanation, Mr. Director?
Yeah, and I'll ask for some input from the town attorney as well as the chief of police on this one if they'd like to. This resolution is relative to 95 Lake Bluff Road in the Seabreeze neighborhood. This property has been on our radar for a number of years at this point and is a nuisance to the neighborhood as well as being a danger to the community. I've outlined it in a report that I submitted to the board, which indicated the findings that we found in terms of structural deficiencies as well as rodent infestation, and a number of other concerns. Chief, I don't know if you want to fill in a couple gaps there.
Yes, sir. This property has also been a nuisance for 911 calls. The neighbors call repeatedly. We ask them to because, quite frankly, that property is in a state of disrepair. The amount of garbage that is actually on the shoreline that'll have to be cleaned up, probably through a boat or a barge, including the rest of the actual main structure itself. We actually went inside there and did a check the welfare check of the location, just due to the sheer nature of the condition of the location. Quite frankly, as soon as we were able to safely clear to make sure that there was no people inside there, actually wanted to get my officers out of there, first of all, for maybe any airborne contaminants, and then second of all, for any structural safety concerns for anybody. So if there was any fire personnel had to actually go there and put out that fire, I'm sure that would be something that would have to be fought from the outside.
And, you know, one of the concerns I listed in the report is the danger to the neighbor due to the pre-existing non-conforming setbacks. The houses are extremely close together. The parts that are structurally deficient are starting to collapse in the direction of the neighbor. There's pictures to kind of outline exactly what we're
I mean, you know, I was down there, Bill, I agree with you. It's going to be a challenge, and I think the sooner the better, really, that they get that house down, you know? I mean, it's going to be, basically, it's going to be probably you know, they're going to have to do it manually, a lot of it. They can't get any machinery in there, but I agree with you. I think sooner the better that this thing's going to fall into the house next door relatively soon.
Yeah, I did a drive-by the other day, and I think I appreciate the report that you put together. The pictures do not do it justice. It is in terrible shape.
Overdone.
Horrible shape.
$1 million view, though.
It's
Give 'em
gorgeous
that.
down there, that's for sure.
And I think the attorney can kind of fill in how, you know, the process goes from here. If there are questions about that, that's something that she can speak to.
I'm happy to speak generally to the process. It's delineated in Town Code Section 104. The first step is the report that you have as an attachment to the resolution. Once you consider that report, and you'll see in the resolution language itself, the board would consider authorizing the demolition of the building, and that is pending a hearing. The property owner has a right to be heard before this board. If you choose to adopt this resolution, that hearing would be held on August 12th at the workshop meeting. The property owner would have to be provided notice in accordance with Section 104, which would also let him know the rationale for the demolition if the board orders that.
Will he have to respond to the letter? You know, stating he's got to be here? Okay, you know what I mean?
There's nothing that mandates his response. There's a procedure that's pretty detailed that outlines the notice requirements to make sure that he receives adequate notice.
Has there ever been any communication with the owner, Bill, at all?
Yeah, since 2018,
Okay.
we've had.
It's my concern that he gets it, you know what I mean? And he has 3 weeks to come in and, you know, state his case if he wants to, so,
Yeah.
okay, thanks.
And just for the public comment is that we are trying to clean up these type of homes across Arundequoit, so look for more of this kind of action coming in the future. Any other questions or comments? With that, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 13, authorizing an agreement with the Catholic Family Center for Non-Medical Home Support Services to the elderly as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2024 through July 31st, 2025.
Motion to adopt.
I move it.
Second.
Second.
May I have an explanation, Madam Controller?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Back in May, we presented the Community Development Block Grant Program for the upcoming year, which begins August 1st. This was part of the plan to allocate funding to the Catholic Family Center for non-medical home support services to the elderly. This resolution would authorize the supervisor to enter into a contract with the Catholic Family Center for $26,563.
Any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? With that, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 14, authorizing an agreement with the Housing Council at Pathstone for housing counseling services to low and moderate income residents as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2024 through July 31st, 2025.
Motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution, again, is part of our Community Development Block Grant Program plan. This would finalize the plan with the Housing Council to provide housing counseling services throughout the town. This contract amount was approved for $26,563. This would allow the supervisor to enter into that agreement.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 15, authorizing an agreement with the Arundecoit Community Cupboard to provide healthy food choices to low-income residents as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2024 through July 31st, 2025.
Motion to adopt.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Again, this is part of our CDBG program for the upcoming year. This funding would go to the Arundecoit Community Cupboard to provide healthy food to residents in Arundecoit. This contract amount will be for $24,500, and this resolution will allow the supervisor to enter into that agreement.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 16, authorizing an agreement with Lifespan of Greater Rochester Incorporated for transportation services to the elderly as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2024 through July 31st, 2025.
Motion to adopt.
Move it.
Second.
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This again is part of our Community Development Block Grant Program, which was presented to the board in May. The board agreed to fund the transportation services with Lifespan of Greater Rochester in the amount of $32,245. This resolution will allow the supervisor to enter into that contract.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 17, authorizing an agreement with Lifespan of Greater Rochester, New York, or Greater Rochester Incorporated for the Home Safe Home for Seniors program of support services to the elderly as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2024 through July 31st, 2025.
Motion to adopt.
Move it.
Second.
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution will authorize the supervisor to enter into an agreement with Lifespan of Greater Rochester for our Home Safe Home program for seniors as part of our Community Development Block Grant Program. The contract amount is for $14,803.
Any questions or comments?
Just a general comment on this grouping of resolutions, how important they are in order to keep our town residents safe and healthy, for our older adults. So I appreciate the process and the consideration for all of these resolutions.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 18, authorizing an agreement with St. Paul Boulevard Fire District for award and use of American Rescue Plan Act funding.
Motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution will authorize an agreement with St. Paul Boulevard Fire District for an award of ARPA funding in the amount of $147,000 for the purchase of self-contained breathing apparatus.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Congratulations, Chief. The next resolution that was in the packet 07A2024-9, I recommend that we table this resolution in order to provide more details and clarity for next time. May I have a motion to table this resolution?
Motion.
Second?
Second it?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The resolution,
So if you,
all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? The resolution is
Say aye.
tabled.
I didn't get my aye in there, sorry.
Okay. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 20, authorizing attendance to the Basic Negotiator School, New York Association of Hostage Negotiators, and DCJS certification.
Motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second.
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 May I have an explanation, Chief?
Yes, sir. This is for sending one of our newest members of the hostage negotiations team to Canandaigua. It's local, so we don't have to pay for housing. It's obviously not always use a negotiator, but we will use those skills day in and day out, de-escalation, everything else that we need to use. So have a local school, local opportunity is always advantageous to us.
Any questions or comments? I just want to make one comment to Chief Peters. I've been involved with the IPD for almost 30 years now, on and off, and I do want to say that I really appreciate the amount of focus that you've placed on training and professionalism, and I think that the town is very proud to have you as their chief.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 21, pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act regarding Bellmead Drainage Project.
Motion to adopt.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
Madam Commissioner, may I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution would declare an unlisted action and a negative declaration in the eyes of seeker for a upgrade that we're going to do at the Bellmead street and the stream. This is a debris catch system that will allow the water to flow and alleviate some flooding we're hoping in the future.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 22, awarding a bid for the Bellhurst Pump Station Improvement Project.
Motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Madam Commissioner.
Yes, thank you. This resolution would award Rock Earth the bid for the Bellhurst pump station upgrade. This is one of our last pump station upgrades, major, that we're looking to do in the sanitation division of our department. So we're very excited to work with Rock Earth. We worked with them in the past, and we did put this out to bid, and they were the lowest responsible bidder. So we're excited to get this project going in the fall.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 23, authorizing Monroe County to install bike lane signs on a portion of East Ridge Road.
Motion to adopt.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Correction. May I have an explanation, Madam Commissioner?
Yes, thank you, of course. This resolution would authorize the installation of bike lane signage on East Ridge Road. So the county is looking to do a capital improvement project between about Kane Drive to 590. So this would install those signs in that corridor. as part of the county's project, they would install the signs and then they would turn over to the town for long-term maintenance.
Any questions or comments?
Just a comment that this is, again, helping to make our roads safer for our walkers and bikers.
Any other questions or comments? With that, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 24, calling for a public hearing on a local law amending Article 7 of Chapter 222 of the Town Code relating to installation of no stopping signs.
Motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second,
I'll second it.
Madam Commissioner?
Yes, thank you. This resolution would call the public hearing for next month to change our town law to install the no stopping signs affiliated with the bike lanes. This would amend our town code to allow for those signage.
Any questions or comments?
Again, I appreciate the effort to keep our residents safe.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 25, abandoning interest in an easement.
Motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second,
Second it.
may I have an explanation, Madam Commissioner?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution would formally abandon and change the approved site plan for the Aldi's located on Hudson Avenue. When the site plan was approved, it was contemplated that the town would take dedication of the sanitary and storm sewer pipes as well as the road leading toward that facility. This process, it was contemplated also that there would be other development in the area. And now that kind of see the way the property is developed, that we would not take interest and the town doesn't have an interest, and it's against our normal policy to take dedication of these utilities because they are not considered, they're lateral to these properties, not to multiple facilities. So this would formally abandon the interest in those utilities that was contemplated on the site plan about 10 years ago, I think.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 26, authorizing security upgrades and associated transfer of funds.
Motion to adopt.
Move it.
Second.
Second.
So what this would do, I would take this one on, this would actually upgrade the security for the courts and some for the police systems to have better communication in the town for safety. Any questions or comments?
Long overdue.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 27, authorizing an agreement with Empire State Development for the disbursement of a Restore New York grant.
Motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second.
Second it.
Could I get an explanation? Madam Attorney?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution is related to grant funding that the town applied for in 2017 to revitalize what used to be the Medley Center and is now Skyview on the Ridge. That project has been completed, and this would allow the town to disperse in accordance with the state's programming the funding that the town did receive, which is about $1 million.
$1 million.
Any questions or comments?
Thank you.
Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 28, approving the special event license for Yellow Jacket Racing, Fleet Feet's Rochester Half Marathon and 5K.
Motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
May I have an explanation? Madam Clerk?
This is an annual event that will be held on September 15th, and all approvals have been submitted.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 29, authorizing the special event license for the St. Josephat Ukrainian Catholic Church Annual Ukrainian Festival.
Motion to adopt.
Move it.
Second.
Second.
Could I, may I have an explanation?
So this is also an annual event that will be held August 15th through August 21st, and we have all the approvals in.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 30, approving the special event license for the Market at I Square's Summer Party. This event, sorry,
Say again.
I need the motion.
Sorry. Motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
May I have an explanation?
So this is the first year that they're holding this event, which will be held this Sunday, the 21st. Supervisor spoke briefly about dipping his feet into the dunk tank, so this is where that will happen.
Any questions or comments? Go easy on me, by the way. I don't know how to swim. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. And this concludes our regular town board meeting. Our next meeting is scheduled for our town board workshop on August 12th. Our next regular town board meeting will be August 20th. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The meeting is adjourned.